Hello guys, welcome to another London Open. Today is the 23rd of September, Monday. A great time to do some webinars, check market, plan the week ahead of us, and let's get ready. So this morning we're already having a really good moves around the market right now, which is good. We have seen, for example, the dollar jumping, breaking out of this range, which we have spoke about last week. Pretty much the whole last week we have been locked to this range. For that reason, of course, you expect the euro to fall, which it did. The cable as well, going lower below 24.50 now, and of course dollar Canadian bouncing at the top of the range right now, and the equities, right, it's as well falling right now. So we can see S&P pretty much getting back to this range bottom here around 29.80 level, getting close. DAX breaking out, coming back to this support as well around 12,300. So lots of good moves this morning, which is nice to see. And so let's get ready and plan some levels to do some trades with. And I want to start doing, looking at the dollar as we always do this way, which is that the dollar now is breaking, yeah. And if I show you the short term, like let's go to a 60-minute chart here on the dollar, we can see that we finally broke these few highs, which we had a trend line there pretty much, which looks something like this, isn't it? So we broke this morning and here we are. And I believe that maybe we are in a triangle, which means that right now we are fighting this trend line here. So if we do have, 1 hour, an hourly close above this trend line, I think this can start a bullish move here right now. So right now we just got some data here from the Europe. Let me get this for you here. So as you can see, we got bad numbers across the board. So everything that we had since this morning, since the French data until now, has been very negative for Europe. So we could see here the French PMI came worse than expected. The yellow numbers are the expected numbers. The blue ones are, the blue ones are expected numbers, and the yellow numbers are the actual numbers. As you can see, O came bad, worse than expected, which that's why we are seeing the DAX, for example, falling this morning. So the dollar here it is, and for me it done the first breakout, but now needs to get above this trend line here. Support now, guys, I believe it's this line here, so 98.74, and if we go even lower, I'll be using the R1 here of today to be a support. So we are talking here about 98.68 or so. Okay, those are the two supports I'll be using today. So I think a dip here to these two levels, I'll be a buyer of the dollar and expecting a move and start breaking out, because don't forget, we here at Duarte Capital, we believe that the dollar is going to go higher to maybe 100 level, then a reversal from there, because everyone now is shorting, thinking that, okay, we are in the top of this channel, what a great place to sell. But lots of the times market likes to stop people out and then reverse on their face, and I think the market's getting prepared for that for numerous reasons. Yeah, number one, we had the Fed cutting, we had so many things which is bad for the dollar, and the dollar didn't fall apart, and we are not making new lows. As you can see here, the market is always making new highs, not new lows, and this trend is consistent. It's consistent, it's going for it. So if we start breaking this high here, that's when things will get very interesting, and many people will get stopped out. When we get to around 100 zone, just above 100, that's when I think the market will say, okay, now it's time to reverse. Yeah, so that's what I believe. But I'll keep an eye on those two supports. Now I will only change from being range or bullish to bearish if we do go below this 98.50 area again. Yeah, 98.50 or 98.55 or so. If we do drop below here, that's where I think, okay, now I'm wrong, and then the market will probably do this again, you know, and then drops, I believe. Yeah, so those are the key ones. So I'm bullish for today and maybe the next few days for the dollar, in my view. So for that reason, let's look the euro. And the euro, guys, many people has been buying this, isn't it? So it's dangerous, you know, as we said, especially when we broke this triangle here on Friday, wasn't it? Was Friday? Yes, on Friday we broke out of this triangle here, and since then, you know, we broke out, came back, retested this low on the middle point, and then a big rejection here today. And as you can see, you know, we are finding support at 786, but I think that is very short term. I'll be looking, you know, maybe a pop to 110 again, closest to 110 possible, to sell this market. And the target, guys, will be back to this range bottom here, which is around 0930. Okay, that is the plan here in my plan for the euro right now. So continue to think that the dollar has more upside to go, and therefore the euro will fall to this 09. And like I said, many people are buying this, putting all their stop losses here, around here, isn't it? So you can feel it, you know, people building up, but long positions put their stop losses here, and when the market starts to hit those stop losses, that's when the aggressive move will come. And I believe, you know, as I think the dollar will hit that 100 mark, I think the euro will hit this probably 08, you know, zone, and then maybe reverse from there. Okay, but I'll be using 110, you know, 110 or 09.95 zone, somewhere here, to a correction hopefully, and then enter to a sell position with initial target around 0930. Cable, look, one thing is for sure, this thing reversed at perfect area, isn't it? We have this circle on the weekly, on the daily chart here for many days now, many days, and it's a market that it's in a good place to make a top. I really do. I was expecting the cable to go even higher here around Friday, so I could short it around that trend line, but it never got there, and that's why I missed probably this short-term trade. But you know, maybe we broke out of a rising wedge here, and I think that any move close to this 25 handle, I think it's a great opportunity to sell, but big support, guys, it's around here, isn't it? It's very clean to see this kind of support here, which is around 23.85 or so. It's a zone of big massive support. I'm actually gonna delete this, and I will add a rectangle, because this is a zone of key support right now. So you know, if you want to buy, as closest to this zone as possible, and the risk just below the zone. But if we start breaking and close the daily below this zone, guys, it's very bad news for any buyer, I believe. So I'm keeping an eye on this cable. This is one that I don't want to trade, just because there are so many risks about the Brexit. So it's one market that I'm not willing to sell. You know, I don't want to trade at all this cable until until November, because we are getting close to October. That's when the market will get even more volatile, and I don't want to add any risks to my portfolio. So that's my recommendations for you there. Dollar yen. So this one here we have been buying. You know, I was a buyer around 106. I closed pretty much like 80-90% of my trades, my longs around 08.25, I believe, which is quite a good close, actually. A really nice close. And here we are. Now, if you ask me, okay, the dollar now it's going back up and things like that, are you willing to buy this thing now? It's tricky. It's not as beautiful as before, I have to say, especially what happened to equities here now, because if you look at S&P, for example, you know, it's close to support. But what What if, look this daily here, you know, what if, you know, we have another big red candle here, you know, for me, it's quite toppy. It's very toppy, and then we have maybe a double top in play, and this might, you know, come to 29.40 and then base and then pop, you know. So if I buy dollar yen now, I'm probably buying late. That's my worrying. But that's my worrying sign there on the dollar yen. If we go see bonds, let's have a quick look on bonds. And as you can see, bonds are at resistance here, but it looks like it has a little bit more to go. Maybe, you know, maybe to 130, 131 zone. It's quite possible, isn't it? So let's have a fib. And as you can see, the 618 is there too. So what if this market comes to here, you know, have a really nice, you know, bigger than expected correction, I have to say, but then, you know, top there, who knows, you know. So if I'm buying dollar yen now, I'm buying late a little bit, you know. So it's a support. If you want to buy, here's the place to buy, but you have to know what's happening around here. You know, if you buy here, you need to have very short stop losses, in my opinion. Okay, that's the dollar yen for me. So keep an eye on the zone. So, you know, 107.50 where we are now is for support, but the next support here, you have to say, is around here, isn't it? So 107 handle, it's the key next support in my view. So another 50 pips lower, I think that's a good place maybe to have to try along there, if we do get there. Okay, so that's dollar yen for me. Not buying now, waiting and seeing mode. Hopefully it goes to 107, and then that's the area you know, I'll be looking to do business with. And depends as well of equities, isn't it, guys? So it's easy for me to say right now, you know, let's buy 107, but I want as well, you know, equities to show me some sign of a bottom. Maybe I want to see bonds to show me a sign of maybe a top coming through, things like that. Yeah, so I'll be watching these three markets to trade the dollar yen, to be very honest. So that's dollar yen. Dollar Canadian, like I said in the start of the webinar, this is at the top of the range. Okay, so this 33 handle here, which we are fighting right now, is the top of the range. But if we stop breaking 133, guys, and especially by, you know, breaking this top here, you know, this thing might continue going up, and the next level I'll be watching is the 33.50 area, which is somewhere here. And if you look the daily here, for example, it's where the 618 is and where we found, you know, probably 3 tops already. So that's the zone I'll be watching if that start breaking. But here's the question, you know, if dollar continues to be firm, and what if oil reverse, right? What if this is a forced breakout above the zone? What if this continues? You know, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what if, you know, oil stop breaking lower? You know, this dollar Canadian, I think, can be a really nice play, because then you're gonna have the dollar in your side, and then maybe oil. If oil drops, that is going to be in your side too. So this can be a really good move on the dollar Canadian here, to be very honest. So this is one market that's not moving right now, but I think it's very close to do it, very close. So this is one I'm watching today and the next few days as well. Dollar Swiss, this is one that I'm not too sure what to do. The dollar is bouncing, stocks are moving lower, and this thing, it's here. I'm not sure what to do. We are at support, no question about it. If you look both 4 hour and the daily here, you can see that we are in a place of support. But I don't really like this thing here that he did last week, which it's, you know, a move above the zone, but then the next following day we drop and, you know, close with a bearish engulfing, and then Friday we close with a confirmation. That's not really nice, you know, not really nice at all. So it's one market that I'm not too sure what to do, because the dollar now looks firm, but this pair looks bearish. So I prefer to stay away and trade other pairs, which is cleaner in my view. Okay, but keep an eye here. You know, maybe this is a rising wedge, which means that if we start breaking here, you know, we might look for levels such as, you know, such as I'll be targeting around 98.60 first, and then maybe the 618 as well, 97.80. Okay, so that's my view here on the dollar Swissy. To be very honest, let's go to commodities here. So Aussie, guys, it's at the 618. This is the place that it looks good, but the problem I have here now is that when the dollar was falling last week, Aussie didn't bounce. And I spoke to you guys and I told you guys, I think this was probably here, I believe, right? I told you guys, okay, the dollar got sold, and the Aussie should have been here because of that, and it didn't. And as you can see, then the dollar got some start bouncing, and that's when the Aussie, went even lower, and that's the first problem I have. And now with this move of the dollar breaking, would I want to buy the Aussie here right now? Not really. Not really. I think this is one that it's a good buy, but at the same time you need to be a little bit patient. And for that reason, I will be a little bit away from the Aussie right now. And I do think that if the dollar continues to go higher for the next few days, I think the Aussie can even reach even lower levels. So we are talking here about maybe 67.20 level, somewhere here next. We are at a good place right now, I have to say. If the dollar index didn't broke, if the dollar index was, for example, here at the purple line, I would probably buy the Aussie now, because then I'm selling the Aussie with the dollar index at trend line resistance. But as we already broke the first trend line, and and we can break the second trend line very quickly, I don't think it's a good place. So I'll be a little bit patient, and the lower it goes, it's better for us, because then the risk is going to be a lot lower, I believe. Because let's say we drop here, you buy here, stop loss, the correct stop loss needs to be below these lows, of course. Somewhere here, your initial target back to the highs again. As you can see, you have already 2.5 risk reward, and then of course you can close half of a trade here, leave the other rest to play, and then target the next high. Then you have nearly 5-to-1 in play. So it's all about the risk. Here is the correct stop losses. Any stop loss above there, you have the chance of getting out of the trade even being right. That's the problem I have. But anyway, if the Aussie gets to the zone, I'll be thinking, and let's see what happens, but be a little bit careful. Longer term, we still bearish. The only thing that I like longer term that it looks a little bit bullish is this, maybe a false breakout here, but we need a great confirmation. We need to hold now somewhere here, or a little bit lower than we are, but we need to see another good push here. And then I'm only gonna change to very bullish if we start breaking this top trend line here, which we haven't got anywhere close. So keep an eye on the Aussie, be a little bit patient, and go from there. Same for the Kiwi. I think has more to go. We have been talking about the Kiwi since we were pretty much here. It's around 63.36. I have been saying that the pressure was totally to the downside. Was matter of time for us to break this low, which we did on Friday, and here we are. And the Kiwi, guys, I think that we will go to that 62 handle, 61.90 level, somewhere here. And then that is the place that probably you have to see what happens. Would you buy straight away, especially with the strong dollar that we are seeing? No. I would, when the market gets there, which I believe is matter of time, I'll be waiting and seeing what the market does. If we have a candlestick, we have a good pressure, good buying pressure there. Those are the confirmations I need to give me to show that the market's bottoming. Because keep in mind, technically looks very bearish, and fundamentally as well looks very bearish right now, right? Central bank cutting, other things happening, and that is not good for us. But those are actually, as the Kiwi has been selling a lot, it's gonna get to at some point that it's gonna stop. The market's not gonna go lower all the time. So, and I'm not saying that we're gonna stop at 62 and then go all the way to 67. That's not what I'm saying. We can trade at 62 until 64. And close trades and maybe opening new ones and go with the flow, right? So, that we are trading levels and seeing what happens from there. So that it's a market that I'm watching closely and see what happened. And yeah, so we already checked all the majors. We had a quick look all of them right now. So let's look at the market. So let's look gold. So gold for me here was, like I said last week, I had two trend lines. I had one that looked like this, and then, as we broke, we came to the second one, of course, and now we are breaking out. And the strange thing is that the dollar is breaking, right? And gold breaking with it. So that's something very strange. But I think that the gold is only moving higher because of dollar Chinese yuan, right? This has been in a very, very strong correlation, okay? I'm not going into more detail because I need a lot of time, but if I put gold's line chart here with it, you can see they move together. So if you're asking yourself, okay, so why gold is moving higher with the dollar moving higher? It's because of this, okay? So going back to gold, this is breaking, and I'm not too sure what to do. One thing is for sure, let's measure gold from this shoulder to here, and let's put it pretty much here, isn't it? So you can see that if this is a head and shoulders formation, we need to reverse now, like today, okay? If we don't reverse until tomorrow morning, I think gold is gonna come back to the highs again, okay? So if for any reason you believe gold is topping out, this is the place to do it, okay? Short in here, stop loss above the R2, and see what happens, okay? I'm not gonna do it because first, I don't really like head and shoulders, to be very honest, and second, this is in a very bullish mode. And one of the reasons and why do I think we are in a very bullish mode is that this market is not correcting at all. Like, you expect this market to at least go to 38.2 and then start bouncing again, which is a very healthy correction to make. But this is not going lower, and while the market goes very, very slow but very quickly jumps and recovers pretty much everything it drops, that shows you how big the pressure to the upside is at the moment. So you don't want to go against that. But here's the where to sell. I think regarding risk reward, I think here's the place to do it, because of risk reward. You can see here only targeting the neckline, you already have a 4-to-1 risk reward. That's the place. Here is the place to do it, somewhere here, a little bit higher. R1 today, it's a good place to sell gold if you really want to do that, okay? But gold, not sure what to do. One thing, what to do, but it's gonna look very bearish if we start breaking this zone here on the 4-hour, and it's the same zone that we have on the weekly, because if that breaks, I think gold it's gonna have a chance to come maybe to 1450 or even 1400 level, if that happens. So keep an eye on gold, but for now it looks very, very bullish, and this is a crazy market to watch. That's same for silver, so I'm not going to spend too much on silver, but here it is, silver. We are pretty much retesting a broken trend line, so it goes in line with what we have been saying about gold, isn't it? So gold at resistance, silver at retesting broken trend line. So, you know, if you think about selling commodities, you know, gold and silver are at good levels to do that. Have a try, you know. So that's what I think. And one thing silver did, which gold didn't, is this good correction size. You know, as you can see, we went all the way to just above 19.50, and then we had a really quick downside move, came to the 38.2, and now it's bouncing. So for me here, it looks very clean. So what does that mean? It means gold is more bullish than silver, to be very honest, technically. Okay, but things can change, of course. But looking at this chart, you know, looks gold has more pressure to the upside than silver. So you can see gold outperforming silver there on the next few days. But here we are. Yeah, let's have a quick look on equities. So equities, you know, as I said, S&P, it's getting close to the zone of support. Be very careful trading on these zones, yeah. So because equities love to break a new high and then just reverse in your face. So, you know, never sell, you know, at the low. That's any market, but especially equities. Yeah, especially equities. We are at the zone of support. But today I think it's a very important day for the equities overall, because, you know, all depends on what candle we have today, because Friday's candle doesn't look good, I have to say. You know, just looking the chart like this, not looking today's candle, looking like this, it doesn't really look that great. Yeah, so if today we have another big red candle here closing anywhere below this low, which is 18, so I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday's low, which the low is at 29.76. If we do close, you know, lower than that, I think it's gonna look very bearish, and I believe that then there is a chance of us getting back to this zone again here, maybe a retest of this zone and then bounce. Okay, and we have there the 50 moving average here as well. So, you know, a quick move to maybe here and then maybe a bounce. Okay, so that's one thing to watch here on the S&P. Nasdaq, the DAX is breaking actually. Right now the DAX looks very bearish, and I told you guys, I posted in the chat room actually, you know, if you want to sell the DAX, here the place to do it, and because of where we were at trendline resistance. So that's one thing to watch here on the DAX. And what I'll be looking at is this trend line here. We already have 3 lows, which is good. So, you know, if we drop here somewhere here, maybe I would try a long for a short term, you know, trade somewhere here at the trend line, which is gonna be, you know, if we reach there today, it's gonna be where the 1.618 fib extension is too. Yeah, so any move there, you know, I'll be looking to buy for a quick profit, you know, and then this thing can break, I don't know, do something like that. Okay, so that's the DAX here for you. Let's have a quick look on the crypto space. So here's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, guys, I think it's getting close to a breakout here. If you look at the daily here, we are in a beautiful triangle. Okay, so I don't know, of course there is a risk of this coming to here to around 94,000, you know, 9,400 zone and then break. But, you know, keep an eye. If we start breaking this first trend line here, that's the line that is probably gonna give you the first sign of this is bottoming out and ready to go. And then the second one is going to be the, you know, the extra confirmation, you know, showing that the market's really wants to go now, and it's going to break. So keep an eye. I have a few longs already in play on the market. The lower you go, more I can buy, you know. But one thing is for sure, your risk is you don't want to see a close below 9,320, which is this last low on the triangle. Okay, but you know, you can start building up longs here and go. And I really like this because if you look longer term, you can see that we had a really nice move up. Now it's correcting, ready to go up again. Okay, so that's one thing here on Bitcoin right now. So that's one thing I'm watching, and I think that's all, guys. I have to go through and cover. I think we cover every single market, well, the major ones actually. So oil is having a good sell-off here. Let's have a quick look on oil. Quick look on oil. Looks like we had a head and shoulders on the short term. As you can see, it didn't play out that much because first we didn't broke the neckline anyway. So but here's oil, and that's one thing we have to keep an eye here. Oil here and dollar Canadian, of course, want to keep an eye as well, like we discussed before. And I don't think there is anything else. Yes, I think we cover everything. So that's all, guys. I showed you guys all my trading plans for today and for the next few days. See what happens. Keep in mind that I'll be here later today around 4-5 p.m. London time to talk about the London close, see what happened today, and get ready for the next day. And thanks so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like our videos. That's very important for us to continue moving with this project forward. Send comments, anything that you like, please let us know. Thanks so much. And I speak to you guys later today. Thanks so much. Take care, have a nice day, and good luck.